Hi there, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawalker, your host. Today we are going to be covering this new record from Halsey, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. Now, going into this record, I knew up front with the production done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross that this was going to be a very different animal. I've never really listened to a Halsey record up until this point, but the collaboration here really caught my attention, so I thought this would probably be a good one to cover, so let's get into it. The first track on the record is The Tradition, opening with a haunting piano piece and Halsey's gentle but tense voice. This track works into the strengths of both Halsey and Nine Inch Nails. During the chorus segment of this track, you can actually really hear Trent Reznor just very deep underneath Halsey's delivery, kind of haunting the mix, if you will. As far as the rest of the track, this is a very, very raw approach to pop, and one of the freshest sounding tracks I've heard in a very long time. I also love how clean the production is. A lot of the modern kind of Nine Inch Nails catalog, with the exception of Ghosts 5 and 6, is kind of muddied in its production and makes for a somewhat frustrating listen depending on the track. It is really great to hear kind of a fragile like soundscape on this song, fragile like the 1999 record from Nine Inch Nails. The next track on the record is Bells in Santa Fe. This subdued synth work on this track is fantastic. I love the way they roll off the notes with Halsey's voice, kind of following through on this like kind of phantom delivery. There's moments on this track that instrumentally that really, really give me some goosebumps that remind me so very much of the Downward Spiral. There's also a bit of kind of like an LCD sound system flair to this song, with this kind of weird staccato piano that pops up here and there in the track. This is very much a highlight track for me. The next track we got here is Easier Than Lying. This one starts a lot more upbeat with a up-kilter drum tempo and a fuzz-heavy bass line. The song unravels a bit more for a big climactic chorus that is very industrial rock heavy. It seems kind of like Trent Reznor is just digging into the Nine Inch Nails back catalog for inspiration, as the majority of this track sounds logically like a mid-2000s era Nine Inch Nails song. Like, the execution here is just excellent. The next song on the record is Lilith. This song starts out a bit slower with some groovy bass work as the drawing portion of this track, with some really, really cool vocal processing effects over the top here. There's some moments here where I kind of can't tell if this song is supposed to be like sexy, or maybe if it's just supposed to be really like a sad track, or maybe like just a touch of melancholy. The emotional depth here is very much layered and blended into the way the song is mixed, though this song leaves me kind of scratching my head a little bit. It's certainly not because it's a bad track. I think I may just need some more time with this one, but so far, I mean, my judgment on this one is just a pretty outstanding song. The next track on this album is Girl Is a Gun. Another short track, starts off with a quick 808 drop into a much more upbeat and poppy track. It's almost a kind of future pop sound with like a lot of very discordant notes over some breakbeat drums that are very similar tonally to the drum work on like the Perfect Drug single from 1997. It's like they've kind of reached back and grabbed this late 2000s electronic sound and kind of blended it with like an almost cyberpunk aesthetic. I can't help but think of things like Blade Runner or like Ghost in the Shell when I listen to this track. The next song we've got here is You Asked for This. This song comes pretty much just out of nowhere with like a 90s shoegaze backing track that works really brilliantly here. If you took Halsey's vocals off of this song, maybe even just added a lot more effects onto them, this song would be well at home on like a My Bloody Valentine record. And that's kind of blowing my mind right now, honestly. This song is amazing and maybe one of my favorites here. The soundscape work on here is just masterclass. The next song we've got here is Darling, once again hitting with the 1-2 punch of unexpected sounds in this album. We get an acoustic folk song that is just incredibly sweet and heartfelt. While this song would normally feel a bit out of place within the context of a record like this, the confidence and intention of this song placement in the track listing really just makes it pull everything off. Like, it just pulls everything off here perfectly. It's not my favorite track, but it is a very lush sounding song with hefty doses of reverbed out segments all over the simple but very well done acoustic guitar work. I love the placement of this song and I love that they made it work. The next song here we have is 1121, a bit of a return to normal on this song sonically, though there is certainly no shortage of compelling work on this song. Halsey's voice soars over the frankly fantastic backing track and really shines here. The dramatic vocal work and synth work absolutely go hand in hand for one of the best moments on the record. This is a brilliant track. The next track we have here is Honey, another tempo and mood shift for this track with a bouncy, almost pop-punk song that's just a touch shy of sounding like a Paramore track. The thing that surprises me most about this song is that historically this is normally not a sound that I've found myself enjoying very much at all. But for whatever reason, this one really manages to just hit the nail like right on the head with this formula, with just kind of a hint of pop punk, compelling writing and soundscape work, and fantastic vocals that don't step into the worst of pop punk cliches. It holds itself together nicely and tastefully. Next track we got is Whispers. Now, it really seems we're kind of getting into like a Nine Inch Nails heavy track with some very dramatic piano work and hefty bass synth with tons of varied vocal work. The literal whispers that Halsey delivers on this track are blended with some really, really cool effects that add a lot of attack to the otherwise relatively gentle piano work. Great song here. The next track on the record is I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God. God damn, the hooks on this song just keep coming. This is by far the danciest song on the album with the catchiest moments on the album. Trent is really pulling out all of the stops here and blurring the line between a Halsey track and a Nine Inch Nails track. This sounds pretty much like it could be a remix or mashup of like unused stems from both artists that were just kind of sitting around and they just sound like they would mesh together perfectly. I cannot really believe how good this one is. I mean, there's really a lot of good and fantastic material here, but I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God is one of the best tracks from any artist that I've heard in the past several years. This is definitely kind of the creme de la creme of this album. I highly recommend this track in particular. The next track on the album is The Lighthouse. Now, this one is sounding a lot more like modern Nine Inch Nails work with some very watery production and some loose sounding but very precise rhythm work. I do really love the simple beat here. It is heavy and very effective, and the whole track paints some like very, very vivid pictures in your head if you listen to it just right. As a penultimate track, this is a fantastic projection of mood onto the listener. The final track on the album is Ya Bernay, or Ya Bernay. This final song is brimming with emotional landmines that are nearly impossible to maneuver. This is such a heartfelt song. To not get anything out of the songs seems kind of like it would be impossible. I absolutely love that this is the final track here. It gives me some crazy kind of deja vu, like it's kind of like Halsey's like hurt moment. Like this is Halsey really reaching into the core to pull out some raw chunks of something and to kind of just, you know, try to make everything work together and piece everything all together. As for final thoughts on this album, this is some of the best work that Trent Reznor has been a part of in a very long time. I mean, for the better part of a decade. Not that the newer Nine Inch Nails stuff isn't good or anything like that, but he has really outdone himself so hard on this one that it's like he's kind of elevated his status to me, in my mind. If there is new Nine Inch Nails material that comes out in the next year or so, if it doesn't hit this level of quality, I will be immensely disappointed. As for Halsey, she absolutely blew me out of the water on this one with her performances. This is such a phenomenal record, and she should really be proud of the work she's done here. I am very, very much impressed with it. This one is a solid 9. Thank you all so much for watching again. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, please leave what you thought of the album in the comments and let me know what I should cover next. Thank you all so much again, and we will see you on the flip side.